Welcome to our channel Share Market Updates. This video is on highlights of share market on 9th February 2023. NASDAQ is 0.66% up. Dow Jones is 0.62% up. Sensex closed 0.23% up. Nifty 50 closed 0.12% up. Adani Ports and Says closed 2.94% down. Adani Power closed at lower circuit. Adani Wilmer closed at upper circuit. Adani Transmission closed at lower circuit. Adani Green closed at lower circuit. Adani Enterprises closed 11.19% down. Adani Total Gas closed at lower circuit. AC Ltd closed 3.03% down. Mbuya Cement closed 6.95% down. Nifty Metal brought down and Nifty it brought up market. There were 948 advanced shares against 1,068 declining shares on NC means market was down, but gained due to surge in index stocks. Top gainers were Trent Cummins, Gujarat Pipavav, Root Mobile Campus Active Policy Bazaar TV, 18 Easy Trip JSW Energy Adani Wilmer Paytm Equitas BC Unknown Minda. Top losers were Adani Enterprises Mbuya Cement, Adani Total Gas Adani Green Adani, Trans Shri Cement, MRF. FAI and DAI data. Foreign institutional investors sold shares worth 736.82 crore, while domestic institutional investors purchased shares worth 941.16 crore on February 8. As per provisional data available on the NC. Defense Ministry signs deal with L&T. In a major boost to the Atmanar-Barbet initiative, the Ministry of Defense on February 8 signed a contract with Larsen&Toubro for the procurement of 41 indigenous modular bridges, worth over 2,585 crore for the Corps of Engineers of Indian Army. Gujarat Pipavav Port has clocked a 89% year-on-year increase in consolidated profit, at 84.4 crore for 3-month period, ended December 23. Revenue from operations for the quarter grew by 49% year-on-year to 250.6 crore, while EBITDA at 142 crore increased by 63.4%, with margin expansion of 512 basis points compared to year-ago period. Cummins India Q3 profit grew by 49% year-on-year to 360.14 crore and revenue increased by 25.7% to 2181 crore for the quarter. EBITDA jumped 52.4% year-on-year to 412.2 crore with margin expansion of 331 basis points compared to year-ago period. The company announced an interim dividend of 12 per share for FY23. Oberoi Realty has registered a 50.3% year-on-year growth in consolidated profit at 702.6 crore for quarter ended December FY23. Consolidated revenue surged 96% year-on-year to 1630 crore for the quarter. EBITDA jumped 184% year-on-year to 940.4 crore with margin expansion of 1,786 basis points compared to year-ago period. Devyani International reported 13.6% jump in its Q3 net profit at 71.7 crore versus 63.1 crore and revenue was up 26.6% at 790.6 crore versus 624.4 crore year-on-year. SMS Pharmaceuticals posted 48.5% fall in its Q3 net profit at 5.3 crore versus 10 crore, and revenue was up 22.8% at 148.8 crore versus 121.2 crore year-on-year. MRF reported 17% rise in its Q3 net profit at 174.8 crore versus 149.4 crore and revenue was up 14.7% at 5,644.6 crore versus 4,920.1 crore year-on-year. Rachira Paper Limited posted net profit at 17.2 crore in the quarter ended December 2022 versus 6 crore, and revenue was up 36.6% at 203 crore versus 148.6 crore year-on-year. Alcoa Mines posted net profit at 45.7 crore in the quarter ended December 2022 versus 46 crore and revenue was up 3.6% at 388.5 crore versus 376.6 crore year-on-year. Panama Petrochem. reported 25.7% fall in its Q3 FY22 net profit at 50.1 crore versus 67 crore, and revenue was down 6.7% at 572.7 crore versus 614 crore quarter on quarter. Harris Defense and Space Technologies posted 27% jump in its Q3 net profit at 9.8 crore versus 7.7 crore, and revenue was up 31.3% at 60.9 crore versus 46.4 crore year-on-year. Apparels net profit went down 46.3% at 13.2 crore against 24.6 crore. Revenue slipped 0.3% at 251.1 crore against 250.3 crore. EBITDA went down 41.8% at 22.4 crore against 38.5 crore. Margin at 8.9% against 15.4% year-on-year. NACO Pharma Q3 net profit was down 22.5% at 62.3 crore against 80.4 crore. Revenue fell 12.1% at 492.5 crore against 560.5 crore. EBITDA was up 4% at 105.9 crore against 101.8 crore. Margin at 21.5% against 18.2% year-on-year. Nesco Q3 net profit was up 42% at 70 crore against 49.3 crore. Revenue jumped 52.9% at 142.8 crore against 93.4 crore. EBITDA rose 35% at 82.2 crore against 60.9 crore. Margin at 57.6% against 65.2% year-on-year. DCW Q3 net profit was up 80.5% at 48.2 crore against 26.7 crore. Revenue declined 11.6% at 579.2 crore against 655.1 crore. EBITDA was up 13.8% at 101.5 crore against 89.2 crore. Margin at 17.5% against 13.6% year-on-year. Suzlon Energy posted net profit of 78.4 crore in the quarter ended December 2023 against 38 crore, and revenue was down 9.3% at 1,449 crore versus 1,597 crore year-on-year. Page Industries Q3 net profit down 29.1% at 123.7 crore versus 175 crore. Revenue was up 2.8% at 1,223.3 crore against 1,189.8 crore. EBITDA down 23.1% at 192.8 crore versus 250.7 crore. Margin at 15.8% versus 21% year-on-year. Hindustan Aeronautics Q3 earnings net profit was up 23.8% at 1,155.2 crore versus 933.4 crore. Revenue was down 3.9% at 5,665.5 crore versus 5,893.8 crore year-on-year. Kalpataru Power Transmission Q3 net profit down 56.3% at 118 crore against 270 crore. Revenue was up 3% at 4,004 crore versus 3,889 crore. Hindalco Industries reported a consolidated net profit of 1,362 crore for the quarter ended December 2022, down 63% against 3,675 crore registered in the same quarter last year. Revenue from operations came at 53,151 crore, up 6% from 50,272 crore logged in the corresponding quarter a year ago. Copper business and aluminum downstream reported year-on-year growth in EBITDA of 40% and 24%, respectively. ERC-TC reported a 22.3% year-on-year jump in standalone net profit at 255 crore from 208.8 crore year-on-year. Standalone revenue from operations increased 70% to 918.1 crore from 540.2 crore in the year-ago period. Board also approved interim dividend of 3.50 per share. EBITDA jumped 16.7% to 325.8 crore from 279.2 crore in Q3 FY22. However, EBITDA margin has fallen to 35.5% from 51.7%. Shriram Pistons and Rings will acquire 75% shareholding of Takahata Precision India Private Limited at 220 million through purchase of equity shares from existing shareholders with the right to appoint majority of directors on the board of the TPIL. Adani Total Gas posted 17% growth in consolidated net profit at 150 crore from 128 crore year-on-year. Revenue from operations rose 27% year-on-year to 1185 crore from 931 crore. Norway's $1.35 trillion sovereign wealth fund said it has in recent weeks divested virtually all its remaining shares in companies belonging to Adani Group. The fund had divested from 5 Adani companies since 2014, and at the end of 2022, it remained invested in 3, including Adani Ports. Since year-end, we have further reduced in Adani companies. We have no exposure left, he said. At the end of 2022, the Norwegian fund held shares in Adani Green Energy worth $52.7 million. A stake in Adani Total Gas worth $83.6 million and ownership in Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone worth $63.4 million. Dominance of domestic investors touched an all-time high in the December quarter on Dalal Street, shows a study. This was the 5th consecutive quarter where the holding has increased, up from 22.37% as on September 30, 2021, and showcases the rising dominance of domestic investors. Net inflows from DIS stood at 27,134 crore during the quarter. Following the fee inflow of 47,349 crore during the quarter, the share of foreign institutional investors rose to 20.18% as on December 31, 2022. Up by 20 basis points from 19.98% as on September 30, 2022. As a result, the DE holding is now just 24.09% lower than the FEI. To put this in perspective, as on March 31, 2015, the FEI share was 23.30%, while the combined share of DE, retail and HNI was just 18.47%. The FEI to DE ownership ratio also declined to an all-time low of 1.32 as on December 31, 2022, down marginally from 1.33 as on September 30, 2022. Over a 13-year period, FEI share has increased from 16.02% to 20.18%, while DE share has increased from 11.38% to 15.32%. However, FIIs remain the largest non-promoter shareholders in the Indian market, and their investment decisions have a huge bearing on the stock prices and overall direction of the market. On the back of net inflows by domestic MFS of Rs 22,698 crore during the quarter, the share of domestic MFS in companies listed on NSE rose for the 6th quarter running and reached an all-time high of 8.09% as on December 31, 2022. Up from 7.97% as on September 30, 2022. MFS increased their exposure to financial services and industrial sectors while trimming down their exposure to utilities and diversified. The share of retail investors in companies listed on NSE declined marginally to 7.23% in Q3 from 7.34% in the previous quarter. Share of HNIS in companies listed on NSE also declined to 1.89% in Q3 from 1.90% in Q2. The share of private promoters in companies listed on the NSE decreased to a 3-year low of 43.25% as on December 31, 2022, from 44.59% on September 30, 2022. There were 11 companies, in which the trinity of promoters, FIIs and DIIs all increased their stake during the quarter: Natco Pharma, Vardman Textiles, Granules India, Garware Technical Fibers, Hickel, Kaveri Seed Co., Power Mech Projects, Marksons Pharma, Bajaj Healthcare, Pitti Engineering and SP Apparels. PNB said it has effected a 25 basis point increase in the repo-linked lending rate from 8.75% to 9%, effective from Thursday. The Reserve Bank on Wednesday hiked for 6th time the benchmark policy rate by 25 basis points to 6.5%. Since May last year, taking the total quantum of increase to 250 basis points. BOB increased its marginal cost of funds-based lending rate by 5 basis points across all tenures. The new rates are effective from February 12. After the latest revision, its MCLR has risen from 7.85% to 7.90% for the overnight 10-year. The MCLR for 1 month has been raised from 8.15% to 8.20%. The MCLR for 3-month 10-year has climbed from 8.25% to 8.30%, while that for the 1-year 10-year has been hiked from 8.5% to 8.55%. In this chart it shows how much each Adani Group listed companies' share prices tanked due to Hindenburg Research report as on date. Voltas Ltd reported net loss of 110.5 crore for quarter ended December 31, 2022. In the corresponding quarter last year, company posted net profit of 96 crore. Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited reported consolidated net profit for the quarter ended December 2022 at 444.26 crore, down 67.16% from 352.99 crore logged in the same quarter last year. Operational revenue came in at 115,829.87 crore, up 12.30% from 13,143.24 crore reported in the corresponding quarter a year ago. Average gross refining margin for the period April-December 2022 was $11.40 per barrel from $4.5 per barrel year-on-year. Operating margin was down to 0.48% from 0.63% a year ago. Government of India had approved a one-time grant of 617 crore to compensate under recoveries incurred by the holding company on the sale of domestic LPG during the financial year 2021-22 and the current period, which has been duly recognized in the quarter ended September 2022 and 9 months ended December 2022. Indian Overseas Bank reported a 22% growth in its profit at 555 crore from 454 crore year-on-year in the quarter ended December 2022. The bank's total income increased to 6,006 crore in December quarter from 5,317 crore in the year-ago period. Interest income of the bank increased to 5,056 crore as against 4,198 crore in the third quarter of the previous fiscal. Bank recorded an improvement with gross NPAs declining to 8.19% as compared to 10.4% at the end of third quarter of previous fiscal. At the same time, net NPAs 2 eased to 2.43% as against 2.63% in the same period a year ago. As a result, provisions for bad loans declined to 711 crore as against 937 crore during the same quarter a year ago. The capital adequacy ratio declined marginally to 15.16% in the December quarter, as against 15.41% at the end of third quarter of previous financial year. Promoters of Vrin Beverages are likely to sell 850 crore worth of shares via block deal tomorrow. Promoters are likely to offer up to 5 to 7% discount on deal. Life Insurance Corporation of India on February 9 reported a net profit of 334.19 crore from 234.91 crore year-on-year for the December quarter of the financial year 2022 to 23 September. Quarter net profit was 15,952.49 crore. Net premium income grew by 14.5% to 1.11 lakh crore from 97,620 crore in the same quarter of the previous year. The first year premium or new business premium grew to 9724.71 crore from 8748.55 crore in the December quarter of the previous financial year. Zomato's consolidated net loss for Q3 FY23 widened to 347 crore against 63 crore registered in the same quarter last year. For Q2 FY23, net loss was 251 crore. Revenue from operations zoomed 75% to 1948 crore year-on-year as against 1,112 crore in the corresponding quarter last year. Sequentially, revenue improved by 17% as against 1,661 crore reported for Q2 FY23. Adjusted EBITDA loss increased to 265 crore in the December quarter as compared to 192 crore in the quarter ended in September 2022. Adjusted EBITDA loss stood at 272 crore in the corresponding quarter of the previous year. Index provider MC has said it will review the free float status of Adani Group linked stocks and their eligibility in its indexes. MC has received feedback from a range of market participants concerning the eligibility and free float determination of specific securities associated with the Adani Group for the MC Global Investable Market Indexes. Any changes in the review affecting the calculations of the Indian conglomerate's free float will be announced and implemented along with the index's February review, due on February 9th. What is MC? Morgan Stanley Capital International is an investment research firm that provides stock indexes and governance tools to global institutional investors. The MC indexes are considered a benchmark for global institutional investors like index funds, hedge funds, and exchange-traded funds to assign their allocations. Any change in the MC index composition can result in huge inflows or outflows in the stock markets. When does the MC review happen? The MC indexes are reviewed quarterly. While the rebalancing of the indexes takes place biannually, stocks are included or excluded from the MC indexes based on the rebalancing and can trigger substantial inflows and outflows. Foreign investments worth 9,010.41 crore flowed in on November 30, 2022, when the inclusion of 6 Indian stocks in the MC Global Standard Index became effective. Additionally, the results of the RAE calculation of the free float of Adani-linked stocks will be released along with the February index review of MC. As per MC, all affected securities will also be considered under the full country float review during the May 2023 index review. Why is MC recalculating the free float of Adani Group company shares? MC has determined that the characteristics of certain investors have sufficient uncertainty that they should no longer be designated as free float, pursuant to our methodology. What is a free float? Technically, free float is the number of outstanding shares of a company available for trading to the public. MC considers free float as the proportion of outstanding shares available for purchase in the public equity markets by international investors. Which Adani Group stocks are part of MC's indexes and what will be the impact of any changes in free float calculations? 8 stocks: Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, Adani Total Gas, Adani Green, Adani Transmission, Adani Power, MPUA and ACT are constituents of MC's indexes. The stocks that are a part of the MC India Index are Adani Enterprises 71 basis points, $430 million, Adani Ports 40 basis points, $240 million, Adani Total Gas 55 basis points, $330 million, Adani Green 37 basis points, $220 million, Adani Transmission 48 basis points, $290 million, Adani Power 18 basis points, $100 million, MPUA 32 basis points, $190 million, and ACT 21 basis points, $125 million. The Supreme Court agreed to hear on Friday plea seeking a direction to the center to constitute a committee monitored by a retired apex court judge to inquire and investigate into the Hindenburg research report, which has made a slew of allegations against the business conglomerate led by industrialist Gautam Adani. In PIL, it sought directions to set up a special committee to oversee the sanction policy for loans of over 500 crore given to big corporates. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe the channel and comment for detailed video on any topic.